Hi, welcome to my video on finding the x and y intercept of a line given its equation, but it's the fast method. Let's see what you mean by the fast method. To find the x-intercept of a line given its equation, let y equals 0 in the equation and solve for x. So here we go. I'm doing some examples and then you can do some practice. Find the x-intercept. Well, if we want to find the x-intercept is an x, comma 0. So we let y equals 0 in the equation. Done. And now we solve for y. So the left side becomes -1. Multiply by 2. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is 6. The x moves to the left side to become negative, and the 1 moves to the right side to become positive. So negative 2x equals 7. Divide by -2. So x equals negative 7 over 2. Again, so the x-intercept is -7 over 2, comma 0 are the coordinates. This is the point-slope form. If you have the slope-intercept form, which the slope is 4 and the y-intercept is -4, again, you let y equals 0 in the equation and you solve for x. So y is equal to 0, the x goes to the left, become -4x. -4 stays, divide by -4, and x is equal to 1. And so the x-intercept is 1, which means the point is 1, 0. So by making y equals 0 in an equation and you solve it for x, you have the x-intercept. Practice. There are 4 of these here, so do one at a time and play it back to see if you're right. Find the x-intercept. So the x-intercept is the point x, comma 0. And if you look at a graph, the x-intercept is, this is the x-axis. So when a line cuts the x-axis, that coordinate right there is x, comma 0. So we're going to let y equal 0 and solve for x. So we put 0 in for y, and now we're going to solve. 0 plus 6 is 6. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 3 is 9, negative. 3x moves over to become negative, and the 6 moves to the right to become negative. So negative 3x is -9. Both sides are fully simplified. We divide by -3. So x equals 5. So the x-intercept is 5. The coordinates are 5, comma 0. Notice y is 0. And we have another point-slope form. We sub in y equal to 0, and we solve for x. So we make y is equal to 0 and we solve for x. 0 minus 2 is -2. Half of times x is a half x. A half of 12 is 6. The x goes to the left side to become negative, and the -2 goes to the right side to become positive, and negative a half x equals 8. And since we have a fraction, let's multiply both sides of the equation by 2. So 2 times a half, the 2's cancel, and I get a negative x equals 16. And that's a negative, understood to be a 1, so -1, -1, so x is equal to -16. So the x-intercept is -16, the coordinates are -16, comma 0. And note, both of these equations are y equals mx plus b, so we still let y equal to 0 and solve for x. The x moves over to the left side to become positive, and the 15 stays. We divide by 5 on each side, cancels out, so x is equal to 3. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And so the x-intercept of this equation is 3, so the coordinates are 3, comma 0. And another one, to get the x-intercept, we let y equals 0 in the equation. Done. And Now we solve for x, so the x moves to the left side to become negative 3/4 x, and the 18 negative stays on the right side. And if we can multiply, we got a fraction, so let's multiply both sides by 4. Multiply both sides by 4, the 4's cancel, I get a negative 3x equals, and that gives me a negative 72. And divide by negative 3 on both sides, they cancel, they give us 1x. And 3 into 74 is positive 20. Oh, that's, yep, positive 24. Negative divided by negative positive. So it's a 24,0 as the x-intercept. So how do you find the x-intercept? Let y equals 0 in the equation and solve for x. Let's continue. To find the y-intercept of a line given its equation, let x equals 0 in the equation and solve for y. Again, the y-intercept is 0, y. In other words, if you have a y-intercept, the line cuts, this is the y-axis right here. So when that line cuts through the y-axis, that means that the x coordinate right there is 0. So that point right there is 0, y. So to find a y-intercept, let x equal 0. There we go. We sub 0 in the place of x. So y plus 6. And we always simplify inside of our brackets first by BEDMAS. So 0 subtract 1 is negative 1. Y plus 6 equals. We have to do the multiplication next to give us 4. So y is equal to 4 minus 6. Transposing over gives a negative. So negative 2. So the coordinates is 0, negative 2 is the y-intercept is negative 2. The coordinates at the point is 0, negative 2. And in this form, we find a y-intercept, we let x equal 0. We let x equal 0, we are finding the y-intercept. So we put 0 in the place of x. 5 times 0 is 0. We have to multiply before we add. And that gives us 10. And that means the y-intercept is 10. So the coordinates are 0, 10. Practice means that you're going to, if you wish, work these out and find a y-intercept. Again, the y-intercept is a 0, y. You let x equal 0. Here we go. We let x equal 0, and y minus 7 equals 2 times negative 3. We have to do BEDMAS first. BEDMAS is B-E-D-M-A-S or PEMDAS, whatever way you want. We have to work inside the brackets first, and then there's no exponents, so we have to do the multiplication. So we get negative 6, and now we transpose the negative 7 to the right to make it positive. So y is 1. So the y-intercept is x is 0, y is 1 as its coordinates. And to get the y-intercept, we let x equal 0. Let x equal 0. 0 subbed in for x, and then we have the simplified equation. So the left side is done, simplified. And on the right side, that's a 1 over 3. 0 plus 6 is 6, because we have to do inside the brackets first. And now we have to multiply. That's 6 over 1, 3 into 6 goes 2, so that gives us negative 2. Y equals negative 2 minus 5. Y equals negative 7. Negative 2 subtract 5 is negative 7. So the coordinates are 0, negative 7 for the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is negative 7, but the coordinates are 0, negative 7. Number 3, we want to find the y-intercept, and we do it by letting x equal 0. So I sub 0 in the place of x. Then I have to multiply first to get 0. So negative 6 times 0 is 0. And 0 plus 2 is 2. So the y-intercept is 2. As you can see, notice this is y equals mx plus b. Slope is negative 6. The y-intercept is 2. So you might say, well, how come you put 0 in? Well, you didn't have to. You could have put in, you could have said 2 was the y-intercept right away, knowing this form. But I'm just illustrating that no matter what the equation is, when you put 0 in the place of x and solve for y, you get the y-intercept. But this one is easy. Right here, what's the y-intercept? Right away, you can say the y-intercept is -8. Slope is 2 over 7. But just to illustrate, not that you have to do it, if you put 0 in the place of x and solve the equation, 2 over 7 times 0 is 0. So y works out to be -8. So the coordinates are 0 and -8. Again, if you looked at this equation and said this was the slope-intercept form, where the slope is 2 over 7 and y-intercept is -8, then you didn't have to put 0 in. But I'm just illustrating that putting 0 in the place of x will give you the y-intercept no matter what equation. Number 5, we have the y-intercept, so we put 0 in the place of x. And when we do, we sub in 0 and we solve for y. And we have a few fractions lying around, but that's okay. 0 subtract 3 is -3. And notice we got y 1 over 6. And 4 won't go into 3, so we multiply. That's a negative. 1 times -3 is -3. 4 times 1 is 4. So what I have this time is a little bit more in simplification. So y is equal to -3 over 4 plus 1/6. So I have a fraction. These were easy because they all worked out to be integers. So I need an LCD. So the LCD for 4 and 6, at least common denominator, is what number will 4 and 6 divide into? Well, we could go, that is 2 times 2. 6 is 2 times 3. So we got 2 squared and 2 times 3. So we need to take one factor of each and pick out the highest exponent. So that's 4 times 3 gives us 12. So the LCD, least common denominator, is 12. So we convert each fraction to a 12. So we multiply the first fraction by 3 over 3. And we multiply the second fraction by 2 over 2. That gives us -9 over 12 plus 2 over 12. And when we add, we get a -7 over 12. Because when we add fractions, we keep the denominator and add the numerators. So the y-intercept is 0, is the x-coordinate, and the y is 7 over 12. So a little bit of more work here, but always be thinking. Work the math, and if you review all my units on fractions and decimals and everything in the background, then you'll be okay here. Because as I do my math, I start from the bottom and work up the units from grade 8 and 9 and 10, 11, and 12. So doing the earlier units helps you in the later units. And there's a couple of pieces of papers in the way here. Move them. And if you like my video, click the like button. And if you're not a subscriber, you want to subscribe, click the subscribe button and the notification bell because there's more videos coming your way. Write a comment on my video if you wish. And visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com. And there you have 3 sections. Section on me talks about my degrees and teaching experience. The video section talks about the strategies you're going to use to help you learn your math. The content section has the topics on my YouTube channel and the number of videos on those topics. The black font is what's online right now, and the red font is what will be online in the near future. Thank you very much for viewing my video. Bye-bye.